What it is and what it do. It is the MEAC'n Up crew. It's your boy, Brother Free, back with Brother Mackey, Will McKee in the building. Just kind of jumping back over to do our little Saturday kickoff. But you can catch us on MEAC'n Up, the actual segment of Names Are Not Important podcast. You can catch us on Sunday nights at 9 p.m. But we just come in trying to get your interest flowing and get you excited about a wonderful Saturday of games. So with that, Brother Will McKee, Brother Mackey, how you feel, brother?
Man, good to see you, Ben, and good to see everybody out there in HBCU land. And big shout out to our production crew too. Got a couple questions we gonna float. We don't know how long we'll float them, but one is who has the best CIAA and MEAC band? You cannot leave the bands out of HBCU sports and football. So yeah, start to think about that, y'all, and send us your thoughts on that. And uh, the second question was they posted that yesterday. I think of it by the time we get to it. But it was another question I wanted to ask everybody. Just can't think of it right now. Good morning to everybody. It's a lot of great games today in the Ben.
A lot of great games, my brother. And before we go into just talking about a couple, just to get it going. Shout out to brother Mac from Names Are Not Important with Mac and Free, who's also a part of the wonderful production of this show, as well as being a co-pilot. So shout out to him. Uh, so with that, like you said, man, and one of the big ones, man, is one of our, I guess, cultural traditional cultural events, and that is the Circle City Classic that always takes place in Indianapolis, Indiana. Shout out to Indiana and Indianapolis. But the Circle City today features a MEAC and a SWAC opponent, and that would be Mississippi Valley State going up against North Carolina Central, man. And uh, just the excitement around the Circle City, man. I don't know how you feel, or if you talk to anybody or got any feedback, but I know it's always a great event. And historically, within Black college football has been, if not the signature event before we got the Celebration Bowl. And as far as like early season classics, this has always been one of the biggest where you see interconference rivalries. Sometimes you see some of the matchups with some of the schools from the SIAC and the SWAC, and some of those battles for uh, those certain areas uh, of the country, for bragging rights, because schools are located and situated near each other, so they battle for those bragging rights. But this is one of the biggest inter conference matchups. What you think, brother?
Yeah, big shout out to the concept of classics, period, which has a storied, deep tradition in black college football. The going back to the Orange Blossom Classic and
Yeah,
games like that in pre-integration times. The classic was just great for the teams, great for the student body, great for the cities that hosted the classics, and they would always have served as great recruiting tools for enrollment for HBCUs. Because as you said, you're going into Indianapolis, Indiana, which is not necessarily a fertile crescent for HBCU recruitment. So you get to sink your student services folk there and possibly recruit some students to your institution, change lives at the time. You know that is a life changing experience for inner city, for example, high school student in Indianapolis that may not have known who the institutions were, and to meet them at the classic, at the career fair or the recruitment fair, come down to Mississippi Valley State and have a better life for self and family. So it's big for Mississippi Valley because their program needs that marketing in Indiana. Big shout out to VC and Benedict College. And Mississippi Valley needs that market desperately. And North Carolina Central is just racking up. They left the Celebration Bowl last year with a big marketing payday. Then they go out to UCLA last week and on stage in Los Angeles, California. Now they in Indianapolis, Indiana. They are the new Grambling University. We know, as I throw it back to you, Coach Eddie Robinson used to make a living off of those classics and only play about 2 or 3 home games in Ruston down there or in Grambling down there. So NCCU, you kind of doing the thing. Big shout out before I throw it back to you to Carrier too. Carrier is a big sponsor of the classic Carrier Corporation, and they had a big celebration parade there with HBCU bands. They don't get to see that in Indianapolis, so you know they were all over that. Then you got Lilly Corporation, and this is the 39th annual Circle City
It's the
Classic. So,
39th. And what
like you
many
were talking
don't
about,
know is that it's centered around the Indiana Black Expo. So you
that's
get
right.
to see this Black excellence, professionalism,
Yeah.
as well as you said, the marketing for HBCUs that may not get regular exposure in those areas. And for 39 years, the Indiana Black Expo has put over 5 million in scholarships invested into the students of Indiana
Mm-hmm.
going to these schools. So um, it's just a beautiful thing for those that might not be familiar with that history. And it's always been one of, like I say, one of those signature classics that um, have maintained through. We've seen some, like I say, that are more regional or local, that are traditional to those schools involved in that area. But this is, when I say it, I'm speaking on the national scene.
Yes,
It's been one of the best, and even featuring schools that may not be in the more prominent conferences at the time.
that's
We've
right.
seen where they've had other HBCUs that might have been independent on different levels, as far as NAI or whatever, that have been featured in these events, just to expose them. And it's always been a great relationship that the Indiana Black Expo has had with our HBCUs, and just shout out to them for a great, just being there, being consistent, being a rock,
Yep.
and number one, helping these students from Indiana go on to higher education, but two, uh, providing a national platform for um, our schools, our beloveds.
Mm,
You know what I'm saying?
that's right.
Uh, no doubt.
And
But
big shout
but
out to
that's
Mike Epps, from right
Mike
there
Epps in
in
Indianapolis.
Indianapolis.
Oh, Mike Epps. That's when I was in college and I had my goatee, everybody used to call me Day Day because they said I look like Mike Epps. I'm gonna let y'all be the judge of that.
I can
When I
see
take
that.
the hat off, y'all might see that. But
Yeah, I can see
I'm
that.
still running from ABD though. But um, but another MEAC competition. Once again, the MEAC has a while before they get in the conference, but you got South Carolina State taking on the Citadel, hosting the Citadel in Orangeburg. You got Delaware State traveling to Miami of Ohio, taking on a FBS opponent. You got Norfolk State playing a tough Townsend team that comes off a victory against Morgan State last weekend. And then you've got Albany traveling to Morgan State. For a non-conference matchup. So big weekend, another signature weekend for some MEAC schools to try to get back on course. Um, tall task for Delaware State, none a doubt. Norfolk State, tall task going to Townsend. Morgan State, still we trying to see if they're going to be able to recover from that tough loss at Akron, but they're hosting, Albany, so hopefully they can get back on the winning side of things, as well as South Carolina State looking for their first victory against the Citadel. And you know, we're looking forward to this weekend. I know any other games you got your eyes set on, Mackie?
I'm just saying,
Or
come on Bulldogs, come on SC State. We need
I
one
do.
against the Citadel. And to your point being, this is an interesting time of year for HBCU programs in the MEAC and the SWAC. It's to borrow from Coach Washington, North Carolina A&T's former coach. It's bring me my money time of year, where you're collecting the bag, the collegiate bag. You're going. A lot of programs go play the what we call money games, where you play a Power Five institution or a mid major, and collect about $500 to $800,000, and you hope you just don't suffer. You hope for a win, of course, but you hope not to suffer too many injuries going into your conference play. So I'm gonna say go Bulldogs, and hopefully we can trip up the Citadel there today. And I remember my other question being, we'll talk about this on the show. Should North Carolina A&T have gone to the Big South and then the CAA, or should they
Uh
have
oh.
stayed MEAC?
Uh oh.
Yeah,
Is that? I hear some Aggies barking in the background.
yeah, me
Uh
too,
oh.
me
They
too.
might be coming for you. Mackie, you done opened the door. That's a good question. But
Yeah.
on that, we'll go ahead and flip not the CAA, but to the CIAA,
Mm-hmm.
and look at a very intriguing, interesting matchup that is going to kind of, I think, establish one of these teams once again as the front runners. And you have Fayetteville State traveling to Richmond to play uh, Virginia Union. Um, this is a matchup. Top two, top three preseason in the preseason poll. Virginia Union poll number three uh, behind Bowie. So this is going to be a big, big matchup in the CIAA. What's your thoughts, Mackie?
Well, being to the people in Richmond, Virginia, to the people in the home of D'Angelo, the home of Mad Skills, the home of Arthur Ashe, that great city up on the hill. I'm predicting an upset. I'm predicting
Uh-oh.
that the defending champs will travel in
Come
that
on.
rain of the tropical storm, and
Oh, come on.
that wet football in Richmond will get the best of them today, and the Virginia Union Panthers will upset the Fayetteville State Broncos.
Oh, you heard it. You heard. See, I wasn't even ready to get the predictions yet, but you hear it right there. So, so Mackie has put it out there, everybody. Virginia Union taking down the champs. I'm gonna come back to my final prediction in a second, just to kind of run through games as we get ready for those 12 o'clock kickoffs. But also, you have St. Aug's at Bowie State. Johnson C. Smith is traveling to Lincoln. Bluefield State is coming to Winston to face your Rams, brother Mackey, this evening. And then you have Livingstone, who is traveling to Virginia State. And then Elizabeth City State will be hosting Shaw, but that game will actually be on Sunday due to possible weather conditions down east. So they will play
Mm-hmm.
tomorrow. Um, I'm gonna go ahead, brother McKee, and you know what? I'm a lean with you. I'm gonna rock with you.
Uh oh, come
And I'm
on.
gonna go with the VUU Panthers as well at home. Uh, now, I hope we ain't put a little battery in the back of Fayetteville State for those Broncos that's listening, but I just feel like they have momentum. They've been tested early on, and not because Fayetteville State has had a tough preseason schedule. Um, but for some reason, I like the Panthers at home. I like them at home.
Yeah,
Um, but it's going to be a very good game. I
it
feel
is.
very tough game, hard fought. I think might get a baseball score in this game right here.
Uh-huh.
But I'm gonna go with you on the record now. For our MEAC game before we get out of here, we're looking. Let's look at the Circle City Classic. We got Mississippi Valley State versus North Carolina Central. What say you, Mackie?
I'm gonna take the Eagles out of Durham, North Carolina, one of your hometowns, and they on a roll. They outmatched. But I'm gonna say Mississippi Valley State's gonna play inspired today. They're
Mm-hmm.
gonna give North Carolina Central a better game than they bargained for, and it's been a long march for North Carolina Central. They may be suffering a little fatigue. You got a rivalry game they played against A&T. You got UCLA that probably put them in the ice bath for a week, and they probably taking the ice buckets up to Indianapolis. And it's been a long haul, so I'm gonna still take them by a slim margin. How about you? How about you, B?
I'm gonna once again, I'm gonna lean with you and rock with you. I'm gonna go with the Eagles simply because Mississippi State is Valley has gotten off to a tough start. They're trying to kind of find their rhythm. I think just overall Central is just kind of more in a flow as a team, though coming off this tough loss against UCLA. But they had the big win against A&T, impressive win against Winston. I think they're kind of in a better spot chemistry wise at this point in the season. So I'm gonna go with them. But I do think Valley State will be tough and hard nosed, and like you say, Central's coming off two tough battles back to back, and it don't get no better for them after this because they got the Campbell Camels coming right around the corner next week, and then they go to a tough Elon school. So, uh,
Yeah,
uh, this is this is one pretty much Central has to get.
yes,
Can't let games where you're favored
yeah,
big. You can't let those slip, especially when you got the schedule they got coming up. So, with that, it's almost kickoff time, Brother McKee. You got any last thoughts before we bounce up out of here?
yeah. Real quick, let me grab this North Carolina A&T magazine because this week we're gonna highlight North Carolina A&T University, which although they're in the CAA, they are a historic HBCU. We still claim them in MEAC circles, and we're going to talk about their driverless automotive car technology that they've done in that great engineering program over there. And we're going to highlight that at the end of the show. And one of my three great kids, I have my middle girl is an engineering and IT student over there at A&T. So got to get this one in early because she'll get me if I don't.
No doubt. Well, on that note, we want to thank everybody for tuning in, and we just say, hey, enjoy your kickoffs. We hope your teams are successful this week, but continue to spread the word about MEAC'n Up. Names are not important with Mac and Free, and keep showing love to our beloved HBCUs all across the country. And shout out to Swack and the Fool and the SIAC. So we'll see y'all on
Big shout
Sunday
out.
night. Peace.
Peace.